tell me your name again?
My name is Sterling.
And my name is Vern.
Perfect.
And as you know, this is the Humanities Truck. We deal with different humanity issues. And I'm one of the team members for the truck. And my name is Vern. And you said your name was Sterling, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Now, this question is in reference to labor or maybe your life's experience in terms of labor and your experience where you work, that sort of thing.
Okay.
Type of thing that in over your period of time that you worked at, that you like.
Okay.
Actually, I'm going to ask you the question. Okay. Everyone has something they have worked on in their life. What is something valuable you have contributed to and can share with others? When thinking about the work you have done in your life thus far, what are you proud of and what can you point to?
Okay.
A loaded question. A whole lot.
Well, let's see. I work in education.
Okay.
And so I started off not in education at all. I actually started off in wildlife and wanted to work with elephants and do conservation work.
So you're in education. Where'd you attend school?
So I did undergrad in Virginia Tech.
Okay. Good.
Yep. And then grad school in Lesley University.
Which
up
one?
in Lesley, up in Boston.
Oh, okay. Great.
Yep. But I realized that conservation can't happen without education. And so decided to go the education route and kind of figure out how to teach people different conservation strategies or how to teach people in general. And so I started off with kids and started teaching elementary school and really enjoyed it.
What are you teaching? Just a little getting off the beaten track. What do you teach kids?
Where?
Elementary school kids. No, what are you teaching?
Oh, what do I teach? So when I taught in the classroom, I taught a little bit of everything. So I was mostly math and science.
Okay.
But there was one year where I did English and I did history as well.
Okay.
Yep.
Because I'm trying to get at where does the conservation fit in?
It's the science part is where.
The science part.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I would try to tie that into the life sciences, or if we were talking about animals or ecosystems, that's where I would tie the conservation part in.
Great. Great.
Yep.
So did you work for the DC Public Schools?
I did, yes.
Yeah, great.
Yep.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And when thinking about your work, the work you have done in your life thus far, what are you most proud of?
Yeah. So after working for DCPS for a couple of years, I transitioned to a nonprofit and still worked with kids, did after school. But my goal in moving to that job was to make sure that instructors felt prepared to go into the classroom and felt like they were really successful in teaching and really successful in connecting with the kids. And so I think what I am most proud of, since being part of this nonprofit, I've been able to create a website for instructors to use and access their lesson plans, access schedules, access different resources to be better fit in the classroom. And I'm proud of it. I think that, it's able to help a lot of people at a very kind of easy, accessible, and quick way. Instructors can get to the website from their phones and use it in real time with the kids. And so it's been a lot of work trying to get that together, because I think coming from the classroom standpoint, there's a lot that I know kids need to learn and you have to be cognizant of in going into the classroom. And so, I'm proud of that.
That's great. So now I'm very interested in this part.
Okay.
I mean, you pointed to, the website how did the corona thing affect your progress?
Yeah,
Since you mentioned, since your field is education,
yeah.
how did that affect where you were? And it's not a part of the question, but
That's okay.
yeah.
It affected us dramatically. So, being an after school, we rely heavily on what DCPS is doing, and so a lot of it was like, okay, we're going to be virtual for a bit of time, and then we're going to go back in person. And so initially it was a lot of planning for like maybe 6 weeks or so of virtual instruction, which was a shift, but it wasn't a huge shift. It was something that we could do, we could manage. But then that 6 weeks extended to be the whole year. And so that meant that we, one, had to revamp how we interacted with kids. So all of our in-person programming now had to be virtual. We had to make sure that families were set up for success with that. So all the students, making sure that they had laptops to use, making sure they had good internet connection. And then because we care about the families and everything in the nonprofit, making sure that families had resources. So making sure they had food, making sure they had access to different things if they lost their job. So really, it shifted from being wholly kid-focused to being focused on the whole family and making sure that everybody was supported. So
it's a saying, it takes a village.
Yes, and that saying ran true.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, you just made it real plain.
Yeah.
Right there. So what is something that you find in that process that, well, I guess nothing can be left out of the process.
Yeah.
But what are you most, what would be your claim to fame in that whole process?
The whole process.
When it's said and done and all of this is over. What do you think might be your claim to fame?
I think it would be that transition to virtual learning. I was very, it was not hard, it was just time consuming, at least for my part. For the instructors that are on the front line, definitely harder because it's a shift to keep kids engaged online. You have to shift your lesson plans to match the time and all of that. So definitely harder for them. But for me, just that initial shift to getting everybody on their classroom links, getting that set up, communicating with schools to see how we could partner, and then making sure that the instructors still felt successful going into that arena that they have not done before. So I think that would be my claim to fame with that. Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yep.
That's a lot. So the student, have you seen any, how do they respond to all this change? Because I mean, of course, each one would be different.
Yeah.
But how do you think they'd take from what you see?
Yeah.
And what would have been the obstacles?
That's a good question. So like you said, I think each kid is different. Some students really thrived with virtual. I know that some students appreciate the one-on-one interaction and get to kind of be in a comfortable setting and feel very focused that way. And then there are other students on the complete opposite of the spectrum that need to be around people and need that engagement and the hands-on. And so I think for kids in general, it's a shift. And I think that they are navigating it as best as they can. Especially I work with a lot of younger students. So it's learning
When you say
social.
Younger, you mean?
Like elementary age, so primarily second grade through like around fifth. It is attitude, but you know, rightfully so. There's a lot going on in their lives.
Yeah.
But
so actually, you actually go into their home because you can see.
right, you can see right there, firsthand.
Where
Yep.
about the parent? Where's the parent?
Sometimes the parent is right there in the background. Sometimes the parent is in the next room at work, kind of at home. Sometimes the parent is not there and they have an older sibling that's watching them and all of that. So
Wow, that's interesting.
yeah, it's different. Yep. And I think it's weird for kids too to be in the virtual setting because you're at home, but you still have to raise your hand and let the teacher know that you have to go to the bathroom and get a snack, even though you can just get up and do it. So I think coming back into in-person is going to be learning those things again. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think one of the greatest forms of teaching is the interaction.
Yes. Yeah.
With the kids or the students, grown. I mean, even in college, that interacting with the students. I know even when I went to college, when I was in school, I looked forward to it.
Yeah.
There's certain teachers I look forward to seeing. There's certain things on campus at certain places that it was like I had to have in my life. That was my home away from home.
Yeah.
And I'm sure even when I was a student in elementary school, I blossomed. I excelled in that building that I went to school to every day, that I visited every morning.
Right.
Everything, I look forward to everything from the cookies and milk in the morning to the bag, you know.
Yep.
Okay,
yeah, there's nothing like being a kid getting ready for school, picking out your outfit, getting your book bag together, all of that. It's just, it's an energy. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and just to think that whole model would be changed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you all have to adapt. The students have to adapt. So they're talking about this being like a permanent thing.
Yeah. And it's likely. Yeah. I think though, more energy has to go to the teachers, because I think that teachers have been great. And like you were talking about going to school, like you look forward to seeing certain teachers because they brought an energy. They really cared about you.
Yeah.
And teachers have had to continue doing that while also themselves navigating this transition and now navigating going back. And it's a lot of work for them. And so I think really making sure that teachers feel supported and feel the love and have that grace, to where things are not going to be perfect, and we cannot expect teachers to be perfect going back. Yeah.
So, and this is a big question. It's related to the labor aspect of teaching. And it's a big one right now, because this issue on the table right now, they consider, what about your income?
Yeah. I think, it's kind of a loaded question, but I think that, teachers, of course, should be paid more. I think that DC pays their teachers fairly well, but there are also some nuances with DC's structure that kind of leave some teachers out. But I think, especially coming back from this pandemic, we have to prioritize teachers, because I know a lot of teachers are recognizing that their skill set is transferable to so many other positions that pay a lot more. And so if they're not feeling the appreciation, if they're not getting compensated fairly, then it's easy for a teacher to leave and go somewhere else, and then we have no teachers. So I think that teachers need to be paid more. I also think teachers need more grace in how much they are kind of held accountable to.
Right. Their level of essentiality.
Yeah.
Should be recognized.
Yes. Definitely.
Okay, well, you Sterling, that was a wonderful interview.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm impressed. I learned a lot from, and it makes a lot of sense to be a good teacher.
Yeah.
Teaching you something. But thanks for that.
Thank you so much.
Okay.